Ever since we started planning what kind of house we wanted to buy for ourselves, we knew we needed an extra room just for a home theater. And while it's a long way from done, we're excited to show you just how far we've gotten with it after just a couple of months. It will take us a little longer to fully finish it, but we figured it was time for us to show you guys an update anyway. So here it is, our still in progress home theater setup tour. Starting out strong with one of the first things you see when you walk into the theater room, the seating. These luxury leather seats are from Valencia and were kindly sent to us for review. Before we planned out our theater, we watched a lot of YouTube videos on the process and other people's choices of seats, projectors, screens, color schemes, and a lot more. And one thing that was consistent with a lot of them were the seats. All the top tier home theaters featured seats from Valencia, and now that we've had them ourselves for the past few weeks, we can see why they're the go-to choice for theater seats. They're simply great. The exact model we have is the Valencia Oslo Ultimate Edition, and we even liked them so much that Valencia offered to send us more seats so that we can add a second row in the near future. We might even build a riser for these to make sure that the viewing angle is perfect no matter where you sit. The Oslo Ultimate Edition has handcrafted 100% Italian Napa leather 20,000 with perforated French diamond stitching that allows the fabric to breathe, paired with Napa covered back finishing plate. The leather on these feels super luxurious to sit on and is in our opinion worth the price tag. The seats also don't only recline, but they also have powered lumbar and headrests, plus increased backrest height, resulting in extreme comfort even when sitting in them for hours on end. As you know by now if you've been following the channel for a while, we love RGB, and these chairs don't disappoint here either, with their 7-color RGB LED lighting cycle under the chair and around the cup holders, making these chairs fit right in with our RGB heavy theme throughout our house. There's also some extra features that are great to have, such as USB-A and USB-C charging ports, seat memory function, and armrest storage. The chairs need to be plugged into the wall to work with the reclining and RGB features, and we are planning to hide these with an extension cord going underneath the carpet. The extension cord even has a flat back end to it to blend in seamlessly into our wall. We just love a good clean cable-free look. Moving on to the projector screen, we're using the Vivistorm SALR motorized tension fluorescing obsidian long throw ALR projector screen. As the name suggests, the screen rises up from the floor, making the room look super sleek during the day, transforming it into a theater setup with the touch of a button. We have it sitting on the floor right now, but we are planning to secure it to the wall with some metal brackets this week to enable it to go closer to the ceiling as well as make cleaning easier. We were thinking of placing it on top of a projector screen table or a wide TV console kind of thing, but ultimately decided on the floating look. As for specs, we are using the 120-inch model, which in our opinion is the perfect size for this room. The screen's material is great for anti-light reflection, making the picture even better than normal. It also uses full screen tension, which creates a perfectly flat surface without any screen wrinkles. And while we will be installing it on the wall, it is perfectly good to use it without any installation needed, with really simplistic plug and play. To make the screen work as good as possible, we will also be using blackout curtains for now to avoid any extra light from shining in from behind the screen, as our projector screen sits right in front of a window. In the future, we would love to add a custom fitted blackout blinds instead for a more seamless and thin solution. We also plan on adding an RGB strip around the window frame that will shine out to the sides of the projector screen, adding even more ambient lighting. On the topic of projector screens, we also have to mention the projector we're using, namely the BenQ X3000i. This projector handles both movies and low latency gaming flawlessly, and we couldn't be happier with it. Its 3000 lumens make the screen more than bright enough even in slightly brighter rooms, which is perfect for us when we want to use it paired with any of our RGB lighting. But yes, it is even good for PS5 gaming with its super low latency of 4.2 milliseconds and 240 Hz at 1080p. But fear not, it also does 4K, just at a little increased latency. The projector is held up with the universal mounted projector ceiling mount. Another big feature in this room is the lighting, which, as I touched on before, is something we're super passionate about. In here, we have installed 8 of the Lumery RGB AI recessed lights. And they're not only smart, but they also have 2 different modes. One is a standard white bulb shining down, making the room really nice and bright. But it also has an RGB ring on the sides of it, creating the perfect ambient lighting for before or during the movie. We love how cozy this makes the room feel without being too overwhelming or reflecting too much onto the screen itself. We also have a pretty cool center ceiling light fixture that kinda looks like a star, bringing the gold theme together as well as match the feeling of having stars above you. Our original idea was to get a lot of tiny little stars in the ceiling, but we ultimately decided on this one piece instead, paired with the black colored ceiling. In the future, we will be adding black sound panels here as well as all throughout the theater for ultimate sound quality. In the back wall behind the seats, we have a little snack bar, complete with RGB themed mini fridge from New Air. Of course it has to be RGB themed, called the New Air Prismatic Series beverage refrigerator with RGB hexacolor, a red and gold old school popcorn machine, and a neon sign. The plan for this area is to have a complete snack bar filled with a bunch of candy and drinks, but we are still working on completing that part. While on the topic, pause the video and let me know your go-to snack when you're watching a movie. For us, it's definitely popcorn and chocolate. Speaking of neon signs, we have two in the setup, the one inside by the snack bar, but also one above the door leading into the theater. These are from the companies Neonwell and Neon Signs. We think they add a lot of class and style to the space while still being on theme for an old school classic theater. We of course also have to mention the color scheme of this room. We decided to go pretty bold with black walls, red doors, gold trim, and red, gold, and black ceiling. Our inspiration was old school theaters while still keeping it as dark as possible for the least amount of light reflection while using the projector. Shout out to my parents for doing an incredible job painting it just how we wanted. We absolutely love seeing our vision come to life. Apart from what I've mentioned so far, we also plan on adding some movie art on the walls, red curtains, some gold detail, and most importantly, upgrading our speaker system. Right now we just have a Vizio soundbar, subwoofer, and 2 surround sound speakers, but our hope is to add a full-on speaker system. The dream is to have 3 big front speakers, several speakers on the sides and back wall, ceiling speakers, and several subwoofers. We will definitely make an updated video once we figure out which brand to go for, once they're installed, as well as when we get the second row of Valencia leather seats. But for now, the theater is looking pretty damn good, all things considered. If there's anything you'd add to this theater setup, please do let us know in the comments below. It's still a work in progress and we'd love your input. We hope this video was interesting to you guys and that it maybe even inspired you. We will have links for everything below as well as on our website CamXPetra.com. Thanks again to the sponsors mentioned in this video who gifted us a lot of these items. This setup would not be possible without them, and of course all of you guys watching and supporting the channel.